So we move on to our next session, ladies and gentlemen. Just what does it take to build a unicorn and for it to stay profitable? Well, now we're going to find out through one of the co-founders of EaseMyTrip, who's now going to tell us about his unique business model and the structure that they have used to maintain growth momentum, financial health, and to navigate their continued growth. Now, just a reminder, after the presentation, we do have time for audience Q&A. So I'd really like it if you could get some really good questions going, and let's make this interactive, shall we? So in the meantime, a very warm welcome to the co-founder of EaseMyTrip. It's Prashant Pitti.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm loud and clear. It's a privilege to be over here. You know, almost a decade ago, I used to be the one sitting, listening to the inspirational speeches, and now here we are. Before I start, a little bit about EaseMyTrip. We started this organization in year 2008 with a meager investment of 15 lakh rupees. And in the last 13 years, we have created India's second largest travel portal, who's also recently got listed. About a year back, we got listed. Now, in our journey, there were two unique things which I'd like to highlight. One, we were able to grow this business till IPO without ever taking any money from either bank or any VC. And the second is, in the last 13 years, we have always been profitable in an industry where almost all of our competitors are loss-making every year. Now, I'm over here to share some of the learnings which we have also inculcated ourselves of how we were able to do what we were able to do in the last 13 years. So the first lesson which we learned was always start with the why and surrogate your way in. Start with the why and surrogate your way in. We come from a very humble background, and to match that, we actually started a very regular mom and pop travel agency. Now, we ran that for almost about a year. And then we realized that there are a lot of problems which travel agents must be facing throughout the world, which could be solved using technology. Those were the problems which we were facing ourselves. So we had a very strong why of what we were doing. We found that why by actually running that company for about a year. And then we started this organization only to serve travel agents, not for the regular consumers. We did that for about 3 years. And this way, we avoided fighting the giants who had raised tons of monies. Now, this was a surrogate way through which we entered, and during this 3 years time period before we started our B2C wing, which is consumer wing, we created our technology, we built relationship with the airlines, and we built our operations. The second lesson is it's okay to not to be able to raise. In the beginning, we also tried raising money. We met a couple of investors. For some reasons, we were not able to raise money. Now, but very soon we realized it's better for us to start spending more time with travel agents, start meeting them rather than creating pitch decks. See, VC money is a great money to solve your teething problems, but it's not the necessity to your success. The unit economics of the company cannot be replaced by VC money just because there is an abundance of it. See, when there's an abundance of VC money, entrepreneur usually focuses a lot on growth rather than efficiency of the company. Now, each industry has a cycle of getting a lot of investments and then consolidation afterwards. This is how usually every industry goes through. So at the time when there is a lot of VC money, if you only focus on growth and not focus on efficiency of the company, 10 years later, when the money dries up, it becomes extremely hard to change the culture of the company. This is one common problem which I see. Plus, I think VC money solves a lot of problems, but then also there are some drawbacks. For example, in year 2011, when we were growing very rapidly in our B2B space, we were basically solving problem of travel agent. At that time, we decided to pivot and become a B2C company. Now, we were almost doing business of 200 crores annually. If we had any VC on the board, I bet this would not have happened. We would not be able to pivot. We could see the future that 10 years later, everybody will be booking online and travel agent may even become obsolete. A VC, their goal is to look for the short-term value. In the short term, how the company is going to respond. But an entrepreneur's job is to look for a decade. And hence, there could be some misalignment. The third lesson which we learned is that over the period of time, by sticking to the basics, it compounds. It compounds very heavily. Let me explain what do I mean. See, we believe that businesses are done only for two reasons. One, to serve your customers very well, and two, to do it profitably so that you can serve them for longer duration of time. Every business has a unit economics and it must be respected. In my line of business, the gross margins are anywhere between 8 to 10%. For all the bookings we do, the gross margins are 8 to 10%. Now, almost 5% is gone in marketing, discounts, and payment gateway charges. Remaining 3 to 4% is there as a profit plus expenses of salaries and admin expenses. So, for us, it was a necessity to create a very different structure around. And we did this by using this hack. At EaseMyTrip, we usually hire freshers for our call center department. And the ones who are overachievers, we make them go through the process of training. And we make them product managers, quality analysts, business analysts, and even designers. So instead of hiring people from outside, we promote people from within. Now, this strategy has worked out wonderfully well for our company. Almost 70% of our managers are the ones who have spent at least 2 years in our call center department. And those are the people, believe me, those are the people who know company better than even I do, since they are regularly on the phone. It gives us tremendous amount of moat and advantage to grow people from within, and it also keeps them motivated to do their job well. The fourth learning is, in the tough times, the entrepreneur's job is to find opportunity. Worrying part can be delegated. Obviously, you would know that for the last 2 years, the tourism industry was the hardest in the industry. Yet, at EaseMyTrip, our profits have only gone up, even despite the pandemic. Now, there are a couple of things which we did very differently, and I would like to talk about them. First, as soon as lockdown was enacted upon, all the flights were cancelled, and everybody was looking for refund. Now, we as an aggregator, when we get money from consumers, we give it to the airlines, right? Now, so we were at the mercy to get money from the airlines or the hotels to pass back the refund to the consumers. Now, that takes time. So we realized the need of the hour, and we used almost 130 crores from our cash reserves. And we gave refund to consumers even before airlines or hotels gave money to us. Now, this created humongous amount of uproar on Twitter, where people were tagging our competitors, saying that, hey, my friend got money from EaseMyTrip, where is my money? Now, of course, consumers do not know that it's not the problem of the other company, right? This instantly helped us become second largest from third largest. As soon as lockdown opened up, we were the second largest. Prior to lockdown, we were the third largest. The second instance I'd like to point out is right after second COVID wave. At the end of second COVID wave, we realized that people wanted to travel, but there is a hesitation. What if I get quarantined? What if I get sick? So at EaseMyTrip, we came up with a path baking feature, which is use EaseMyTrip for no additional charges. If you were to cancel your flight ticket for any medical reasons, just upload doctor's prescription and we will give you 100% money back, even the money which airline is deducting. That our company will provide. Now, this feature got some of the people within the organization a little bit worried. See, we know how easy it is to get doctor's prescription, right, in India. So, and almost 12 to 15% tickets get cancelled. So it would have created huge havoc for the company if all those people started uploading fake certificates. But if you put trust in people, they trust you back. We are only seeing between 0.5% to 1%. From all the 12 to 15%, between 0.5% to 1%, people claiming for the money because of medical reasons, which we believe should be pretty accurate. These were the learnings which I wanted to share, and I know the time is also running out. So thank you everyone for listening.
Well, thank you. See, an incredible story, it really is. And thank you so much. We do have a few minutes, as I mentioned, for our Q&A. So we'd like to give our audience a voice now. Please do not be shy. This is your one opportunity to ask any questions that you might have. So who would like to ask our first question?
We, of course, give them the money. We refund the money, which is either deducted by the EaseMyTrip or the airlines. And that money goes to the consumers. There is no forensic way to find out.
We should have a microphone actually around, if there's a microphone. Yes, there's a gentleman in the back that has a microphone. Who would like to ask the next question? Yes, lady at the front, please, here. Tell us who you are and where you're from, please, as well.
Hi. I actually want to reiterate what you said. I actually switched from EaseMyTrip to EaseMyTrip just for that very same reason, because EaseMyTrip gave me so much grief over a refund, but I had never read about the refund on EaseMyTrip, but I was like, I'm just not going back to this company again, because I have been using EaseMyTrip for years and never had a problem, and they just gave so much grief over one thing. And so I think it's a great customer retention. It's great to put faith in customers, and they do reward you for it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. In fact, it reminds me of one of the incidents. In year 2013-14, I was sitting at the call center, just trying to pick up some calls and understand people. Now, there's this, lady, she is called up for some reason, and, I kind of solved her problem. But then I'm seeing that she started using EaseMyTrip only 4 months ago, and she has become a heavy user of EaseMyTrip. So I asked that elderly lady that, ma'am, you are using EaseMyTrip since last 4 months, and you are using quite often. So what were you doing before? So her answer was that she was using somebody else's website before, without naming them. But she realized that every time at the last page, the price changes, and that company charges convenience fees. So she thought that it's a hera-fairy which airlines are doing. She didn't realize that the convenience fees is actually charged by the OTAs. She thought that the airlines, seeing that you are actually needful for this flight ticket, they increase the price. So she said, Prashant, I found out that this convenience fees is the charge which OTA charges. And as soon as I realized it, I felt cheated for all this while. And this is when I decided that I'm going to find a company which does not charge me convenience fees. And that's how she started using EaseMyTrip.
Well, it certainly is a brilliant model, and it benefits everyone, doesn't it? But I mean, how have your competitors reacted to this? They must be livid.
So far, we have only seen them increase their convenience fees, which is good for my business.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Any more questions?
Yeah, hi. My name is Ravi. I'm from Bangalore. So IT experience and political organization experience. So my question is, when I go to book the ticket, I don't know if this is happening in EaseMyTrip. So I'm searching, right? And then the system is so clever that when I want to book the ticket, it increases the price because I've searched for it. And I've not taken it.
Confusing with the convenience fees part.
No.
Okay.
That's just 200, 300 rupees, not that.
Okay.
It's the price of the ticket.
Yeah.
If I don't book it right there, and I say, okay, let me take it later, and I search more everywhere, when I come back, the price has increased. And it's very dynamic.
Correct.
But for some reason, I feel that it's increasing because you need the ticket, and you're coming back and searching again.
So the prices...
Is it right what I'm thinking?
So at some level, I would say it's correct. The prices of the tickets are determined by the airlines. It's not determined by the OTAs. It's determined by the airlines. So we have to show the price which their data scientist team thinks is the correct price at that particular moment. However, to ease this problem, we have solved one way. You could use EaseMyTrip on WhatsApp. There's a WhatsApp number 999033030. You could use EaseMyTrip on WhatsApp. You can write Delhi, Bombay, 23rd February, for that matter, and it'll show you the price options on WhatsApp itself. But the beautiful part is, it will keep pinging you whenever prices changes, either goes up by 10% or less than by 10% for the same flight. So this way, we have taken away the pain for consumers to keep searching. Because one thing which we realize that most of the people are there coming to search to know what the current status is. Now the system will automatically ping you and tell you if there is a dramatic price change, one way or the other.
But before the price changes?
No, it has to be at the moment of the price change. We don't know what prices the airlines are going to put up at the time of price change.
So this is happening, right? Maybe you will have a solution for this.
So there's a possibility, and I wouldn't know about that. Those results are coming from the airline side.
I'm going to have to invite you to take this off stage, because I do apologise, but our time is up. I cannot thank you enough for being with us here today, though. Thank you so much for telling us about your growth story. I wish you nothing but the best in the future. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Prashant Pitti there, co-founder of EaseMyTrip.